Google. For decades, it was untouchable. The giant of Silicon Valley. The gatekeeper of the internet. The company that defined what it meant to innovate. But now, something shocking is happening. The empire that once seemed unstoppable is collapsing. And at the center of it all, artificial intelligence. Today, we're diving deep into the hidden cracks inside Google's AI strategy. Why the company is losing its grip on the future, and how this collapse could mark the end of Silicon Valley as we know it. Let's start with the truth that nobody at Google wants to admit. The company had the head start in AI. They had the smartest researchers, the biggest budgets, and the deepest access to data. They invented the transformer model, the very foundation of modern AI. They had the pieces to dominate the entire future of artificial intelligence. But instead of leading, Google stumbled. While OpenAI captured the world's attention with ChatGPT, Google hesitated. They were too slow, too cautious, too afraid to disrupt their own business model. Think about this for a second. Google is the search engine of the world. Almost everyone alive has used it. And yet, the company was terrified of replacing search with something better, something smarter, something powered by AI. Because if they did, they risked destroying their own golden goose, the billions of dollars they make from ads. And that hesitation, that fear, it opened the door for others to take the lead. OpenAI, backed by Microsoft, moved fast. Anthropic, built by ex-Google employees, raised billions. Even Meta, a company that once seemed lost, is pushing open source AI models that are gaining momentum. And Google, they're scrambling to catch up. Bard, their first real attempt at an AI assistant, was rushed, clumsy, and almost embarrassing. The launch itself was a disaster. The model gave wrong answers during its demo, and billions of dollars were wiped off Google's market value overnight. That moment told the world one thing: Google isn't invincible anymore, but it gets worse. Behind the scenes, Google's own employees have been warning about the company's failures. Leaked memos revealed panic, frustration, and even predictions that Google could lose the AI race entirely. Imagine that. The company that invented the technology admits it's falling behind. That's not just a stumble. That's collapse. And here's the bigger problem. Google's collapse doesn't just affect Google. It shakes the entire foundation of Silicon Valley. 'Cause for decades, Google wasn't just a company, it was a symbol. The dream job for engineers. The place where the best minds went to change the world. But when Google starts looking weak, when it starts looking outdated, the whole myth of Silicon Valley dominance begins to crumble. Think about what this means. Startups no longer dream of being acquired by Google. Engineers no longer see it as the ultimate destination. Investors no longer trust that the tech giants will always win. The power balance is shifting, and it's shifting fast. But how did it come to this? How did a trillion-dollar empire lose control of its own invention? Part of the answer lies in bureaucracy. Google became too big, too slow, too safe. Every decision had to pass through layers of managers, lawyers, and executives. Innovation died under the weight of meetings and fear. Meanwhile, smaller, hungrier companies took risks. They moved fast, they broke things, and they captured the future that Google was too afraid to claim. Another reason: arrogance. Google believed that its size, its data, and its dominance in search would protect it forever. They thought nobody could challenge them. But AI doesn't care about old monopolies. In fact, AI destroys them. Suddenly, anyone with enough computing power can build a system that rivals Google's. The moat is gone. The walls have fallen, and now the cracks are visible everywhere. Google's search engine is struggling under the weight of a generated spam. Users are starting to notice that the results feel worse, cluttered, and less trustworthy. At the same time, younger generations are skipping Google entirely. They're searching on TikTok. They're asking ChatGPT. They're using AI tools instead of Google products. Slowly but surely, the grip that Google had on the internet is slipping away. The scariest part for Google is this: once people break the habit of relying on Google, they never come back. Just like people abandoned MySpace. Just like people abandoned Yahoo, history repeats itself. The giants always fall. And here's where things get even darker. Google isn't just losing the AI race, it's losing control of the narrative. The company is no longer seen as a leader in innovation. It's seen as a follower, a company that's always one step behind. That reputation is poison in the tech world, because once the smartest people stop believing in you, you lose the only thing that really matters: talent. And guess where that talent is going? To OpenAI, to Anthropic, two startups building the future. The very engineers who once powered Google's dominance are now building its downfall. That's not just competition. That's betrayal from within. But don't make the mistake of thinking this collapse only affects Google. When the biggest company in Silicon Valley starts to fall, it sends shockwaves across the entire industry. Investors begin to question the value of big tech. Governments see weakness and push harder with regulation. Rivals smell blood and move in faster. The fall of one giant triggers a chain reaction. So what does the end of Google's dominance actually look like? Imagine a world where Google search is no longer the default way to find information. Imagine a world where the best AI assistants are owned by other companies. Imagine a world where the name Google doesn't mean innovation, but stagnation. That's not science fiction. That's the path we're already on. Now, of course, Google isn't going to vanish overnight. They still control YouTube, Android, Gmail, and massive parts of the internet's infrastructure. But the truth is clear. The future of technology is moving away from them. And the longer they struggle, the more irrelevant they become. In a strange way, this collapse might be the best thing that ever happened to innovation. Because when one giant falls, it creates space for dozens of others to rise. The monopoly breaks, the creativity spreads, and a new era begins. But make no mistake, for Silicon Valley, this collapse is a wake-up call. The world is watching. The myth of invincible tech giants is dead, and the battle for the future of AI is wide open. So ask yourself this: if Google can fall, who's next? Because the AI collapse of Google isn't just the end of one company's dominance. It could be the end of Silicon Valley's entire empire.